And in the first carriage, His Majesty the King, Her Majesty the Queen, for the 5th day in succession, with one of our own, Sir Mark Prescott, and actor Lizzie Spender, Jim.
Yes, Lizzie Spender, a very successful actress in her own right, and perhaps also known for being, she's the widow of Barry Humphries, the Australian actor, comedian, all-round good egg.
Yeah. Wonderful to see her here, and actually when you look on her social media profile, she says that obviously she's an actor and would like to be working, but also a would-be horse trainer, so I wonder if she's picking Sir Mark's brains there.
Well, I would imagine Sir Mark could charm the birds off the trees, couldn't he? So I would imagine he's thoroughly enjoying himself.
And of course Sir Mark's got Trooper Bisdee in the Queen Alexandra, a race he's never won before.
Yes, he's got that for John Kelsey Fry,
yes.
Renowned QC, or Casey, I should say.
Yeah. So he better have a good case for him for the horse running well in the last.
It's got to improve on form, but the one thing it does do is stay, and that's the one thing you need in the Queen Alexandra.
You really do, and isn't it great to see? I actually think Lizzie Spender looks magnificent in that outfit. She really does, very, very striking.
Very, very striking, and not a porter bonnet in sight again.
Not a porter bonnet in sight. We love that tale from the week, and everybody looking relaxed and happy. And do you know what? I don't think there'd be a better guest than Sir Mark. For those of us that have been lucky enough to have conversations with him, he's a great entertainer.
Yes, he's not just good company. I mean, he is a fantastic speaker, as well, of course, as a very, very good trainer.
Yeah, exceptional trainer. And in the next carriage, Princess Eugenie of York, Mr. Jack Brooksbank, her husband, and Mr. and Mrs. Ed Walker, Camilla Walker.
Yes, Ed, of course, had a winner earlier this week, so that was great. Princess Eugenie, just to set the record straight, is 12th in line to the throne.
Okay. And looking fantastic there in red. Red is the colour, and I have to say, I think Camilla looks brilliant too. I love that dress, and yeah, Ed Walker will be thrilled to have had a winner, and probably buying some nice wine while they're there, do you think?
I suppose I shouldn't say, but I'm just wondering, is Ed Walker maybe the next in line to get a racehorse for the royal family?
Well, you never know, do you? He does have a spot in the second carriage, so you never know. We will see the third carriage there. We have the Right Honourable the Lord Ashton of Hyde, Lady Ashton of Hyde, and David and Fiona Howden, who are such huge supporters of Ascot.
And relatively new to racing, but to say they've embraced it is an understatement. Apart from being a very, very generous supporter of Ascot, as you say, in terms of sponsorship and other matters, he's got lots of racehorses, and he had a very good filly run earlier in the week. A bit of a character. Yes,
Running Lion, yeah. And they also run the Cornbury Horse Trials on their estate in Oxfordshire, and it's a fantastic event riding, so it's brilliant.
You've been to that?
I have been to that. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. A really, really good event. So it looks like they're having fun there, and they'll have been here, I should think, for most of the week. And the Right Honourable the Lord Ashton of Hyde, what can you tell us about him, Jim?
Lord Ashton of Hyde. He is the current master of the horse.
Yeah.
A role he acceded to in 2024. Formerly held by, I think it was Lord Macaulay, before that Lord Vestey, who did it for years. So yeah, a very important role. I think it's the third, it's ranked as the third most important in the royal household.
Wow, so, yes. That's very senior.
Yes.
Very senior. And Emma, Lady Ashton of Hyde, in there as well. So that's the first three carriages. And do you know what? I think whether you're a follower of the royal family, horse racing or not, you are definitely going to recognise, I'd say, every face in this carriage, because here, Jim, we have Mr. and Mrs. Rory Bremner, Tessa Bremner, and Nicky and Sophie Henderson.
Yeah, that would be great fun to be a fly on the wall there, because Nicky's a great raconteur, as we all know, as well as being a very fine racehorse trainer and an all-round good egg, with a wonderful wife called Sophie, who, apart from dancing attention at every hour of the day, is probably the only one that can take the fuses out when necessary.
Yes, and I'll tell you a really interesting fact about Tessa Bremner as well. she's a sculptor, a very, very accomplished sculptor, and she was commissioned to make a statue of Estimate in 2016. Now,
Wow.
there's an honour, isn't it?
It is an honour. So no wonder the Bremners are in the Royal Procession.
Yeah, that, in case you wondered, that's why. So, of course, they love their racing, and she's an incredibly talented artist as well. Once again, the infield here at Ascot is absolutely rammed.
And the infield, and we're going past the Silver Ring, for example. The first Silver Ring was built at Ascot,
Yeah.
and it was 5 shillings to get in, hence the name Silver Ring. That's where it comes from. And it's obviously for people that couldn't afford the higher rates you needed to get further up. It's been the case for ages. But it did amuse me reading social media today that there's been a reminder gone out to certain younger gentlemen in the main who've turned up without socks. At any of the
goodness me.
enclosures, even the Silver Ring, gentlemen have to wear socks at all times, and ladies have to have their shoulders covered.
Well, thankfully, I've managed to... Have you got socks on, Jim?
I've got socks on, yes.
Excellent news, excellent news. I have to say, in this heat, I'm not sure why any gentleman would want to be without socks. Be rather unpleasant, wouldn't it? It's a hot old
I promise
week.
I won't let Jamie or Seb take theirs off before the end of the show.
No, absolutely. They are, you know, we won't allow standards to slip here at all on Sky Sports Racing. But yeah, very interesting. I mean, the sock police must be out. Interesting.
Don't think it's a job I'd like, particularly on a day like this.
No, not me. I don't get that one, but I'm not in that generation, so maybe it is the height of cool. Anyway, the height of cool is probably not in this weather, but there is a nice breeze picking up actually, which is probably just helping them as the carriages approach the furlong marker, which means the national anthem is imminent, because it usually starts when they hit that furlong pole. So we will see if that's the case, and then of course we will respect the national anthem. The royal standard is flying above the grandstand, which means that the King and Queen are here on the racecourse, and when they depart it's replaced with the Union flag. So crowds are all ready, and there's a great buzz and electric atmosphere, but it will fall silent in just a moment or two's time when the band strike up. Perfect timing by the carriages and the band there in symmetry as they come off the track, and in a moment they'll be here in the parade ring, and a few people were singing as well to add to the occasion. But the horses seemingly taking it well. Their backs are down at this stage of the week, I would think, Jim. They've had a few spins
They've had
up
a few
here.
outings.
I tell you what though, they must be really fit, these horses.
They have to be, don't they?
Yeah.
But you talked about the precision with which this is all organised, and you're right. And I mean, the procession is 200 years old this year, and you were saying how little it's changed. But the royal enclosure was created 3 years earlier than that, again by George IV. But so many people wanted to get in, that's when applications started. But King George IV wanted an area with a lawn, and of course this is very different now.
Yes.
The point you were stressing earlier in the week, and you've been watching some old newsreel, is how little, other than the minor details of that, this whole thing has changed. It's still the same format.
Yeah, if you look at the Pathé news footage from many, many, many years ago, it would look very, very similar. And actually, fashions go around, don't they? So they probably had these fashions, I don't know, many years ago, and they've done full circuit. But it is wonderful to see, and I'm pleased that it hasn't rained on the parade as well this week, because that would have been disappointing for everybody involved. And of course there was the 1 year, I think during COVID, when Her Majesty, her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II came in a car, in a motor vehicle. But the horses are coming into the paddock and they're getting a cheer as well, the King and Queen in the first carriage here, and a round of applause as well, and caps being doffed, and a wave to the crowd as well. Sir Mark Prescott looks very relaxed, as he would in that environment. And you know, the horses are less sweaty actually today, Jim.
Yes.
They were really in a sweat earlier in the week when it was very sunny. But one or two of the Cleveland Bays are getting a little frothy, but they're okay. They're still full of running and on their toes as they come into the paddock for the final time this year, and then they'll be on other duties as well. But a wonderfully colourful sight here at Royal Ascot on our 5th day.